Darren here, and welcome to the 25th installment of the Map Awareness series featuring Pontiac Pat. Now, Pontiac Pat here tends to play low tiers a lot, mostly, and I believe, if I remember correctly, it's because upper tier is a little bit boring, as everyone, for the most part, knows what they're doing, and strategy and stuff is pretty much kind of textbook at that point. Whereas in the mid tiers, at tier 4, 5, and 6 and stuff, tactics, strategy, and stuff is still being learned and developed, so it's a little bit more chaotic and arguably more challenging, at least for like the intermediate players and stuff like that. The very experienced players will tend to have a result like you'll see here because they're able to take the chaos and harness it and control it to suit their needs, or they are able to pretty much take top tier tactics and strategy and incorporate them into a lower tier, more chaotic game where you know it actually works better down at these lower tiers because again I have to keep stressing this mid tiers is kind of like the area where it's not quite just rush the enemy chaos like what you're witnessing right here with these light tanks just bum rushing it across the field like it's you shall not fall back, anyone who falls back shall get shot, that type of stuff. um it's that middle ground of where tactics and stuff are starting to develop because now you're dealing with more upper tier vehicles and more experienced players. So he's able to come to a spot where this is pretty much arguably still a relevant position is this general hill area along this frozen lake, and getting good cross shots on spotted opponents. Honestly, I'm surprised he's able to shoot that far. As normally, whenever I'm over here, and I see now, I'm on the wrong hill. No wonder he's able to see them. He's farther to closer to the river than where I normally am. But this general hill area is still relevant for being able to do exactly as you see here: sit with a decent amount of cover and get some cross shots across the frozen lake. Not a whole lot of stuff. I think everyone pretty much has seen this. The extent of where it starts to get good is later on in the game. For right now, I'm going to take a little bit more time explaining overall map situation of this particular map, and that is that this is not the spring version where the river is thawed and or the summer variant to be exact, where the river is thawed, the lake is thawed, and you can pretty much drown and stuff now. Now, real quick, getting off topic, what you're about to see here is a very good mid-game slash almost early game, at least for lights, play of making a push to this middle ridge bump hill here and spotting across. Light tanks, this is good for early cross spots and shots sometimes. Mid tier, this is good for mediums and stuff. But getting back to the map situation, is that really it's a bit kind of 50-50. The hill is still absolutely important to consider, especially on encounter game mode like this. But also, the riverside is now equally important because you can cross that area and you have room to maneuver down there. But the issue that you tend to see is that it's whoever maintains the momentum down at the river tends to win. If your team stalls out on the enemy side of the river and is not able to push past that embankment, you've essentially lost the flank. That is the equivalent of losing the flank. You've lost your momentum and they are now holding you there. So the key to that is maintaining the momentum and the pressure up on them and forcing them to continuously move back. Something that that is very frequently not prevalent. I do tend to see more than often than not a team getting stalled out, getting whittled to death. So again, still pretty much losing the flank after technically winning the flank, losing the flank, and then the enemy team comes and retakes the flank and then starts doing, applying pressure to your base, and then it's just very not even worth. It's its own chaotic thing. But the hill is always maintained to be a relevant source of control on this map. You can shoot down on people people, and yeah. Now, I'm not really covering what you're seeing right now, and that's just because of the fact that I'm going to be honest, I'm going to cover this particular subject here in a later video. But he is maintaining excellent calm and control in this situation. The enemy base is capping. Well, the enemy team is capping. Let me correct that. And at this tier, panic and tunnel vision tends to set in because everyone sees, oh my god, the base is being capped. We're going to lose. I must go back and defend the base. Pontiac here is doing an excellent job of, wait a minute, I want to try and eliminate anyone that might be shooting at my back as I'm trying to get up the hill. So he's taking his time, securing his back door, essentially, making sure he's not going to get shot. Excellent, maintaining that calm. He realizes that the timer was started at 3 minutes. He's got plenty of time to think about how he's going to approach this. That light tank up there didn't really take that. He just sees cap timer going, exactly like I said, tunnel vision, and rushes in to defend the base, not analyzing what may be up there and how to best deal with the situation. Instead, just rushes up there to try and reset the cap. In that sense, he completes the objective, but at the sacrifice of himself, which honestly wasn't even a trade-off because he reset it and the tank wasn't destroyed, even at the cost of himself. It kind of comes down to, was that mission achieved for you, or did you fail? Did you, what was it? Once again, though, he's got plenty of time, especially with that reset, and he's now going to continue clearing his back door. He tried to support the TD that was with him, but TD got, taken out. And now he's pushing up to the top of the hill here. He is already well over 1,000 damage. Something sometimes hard to achieve at this tier, unless you're just keeping your gun hot constantly, which is another thing people kind of, learn along the way. Calm, collective, easily takes care of the SU-85. He did go into premium round at some point in this game. Honestly, the situation does call for it, at least especially in this particular situation where it was like a 2v5, then it became a 1v5, and so yes, the premium rounds are very important, and I would argue very necessary at this point. Mid-tier, though, it's a little bit kind of like on the 50-50, where you don't really need premium, but you might need premium. His own, really. Now, what you see him doing here is you see him setting up his defense. You do see he did become a little focused on that he didn't quite realize he was being snuck up on until someone pinged the map. At least that's what it looks like. So, again, seeing that he is spotting the enemy, but not being spotted himself, he's kind of right now debating, should I press or should I hold? He's going to decide to actually press and just get rid of that vehicle then and there, not give them time. It actually turns out to be kind of almost maybe a good idea, and you're going to see why in a second. Decides to press, get rid of the 25 TP right away, but you're going to see that almost right behind him there is an enemy vehicle, and it turns out to be a Churchill, also on full health. Now we, again, maintaining calm and collective manner right now. He's taking his time to try and aim, whereas the Churchill is just spamming. Now, it kind of comes down to which is the most successful. Both sides are being successful, at least in their shots landing. But in terms of consistent shot hitting, Pat here is doing a much better job of consistency, even though the Churchill is putting more rounds downrange quicker. He noticed right away that the Valentine has just been spotted by him, and he's backing down more to try and put some distance or at least some form of terrain cover between him and the Churchill, because the Churchill will eat through him really quickly. He doesn't have time to deal with both tanks at once. So he pops up to try and put a shot on the Valentine. He ends up paying for it as well as the trade. He does take damage from the Valentine, and again, this is where it's just the terrain he's in right now was not really the best, and he gets taken out by the Valentine. It's a heartbreak, a chance for a Colabanos medal, but I mean, he did end up actually across both teams pulling out the MVP with well over 2K raw damage and 8 kills. A very, very good game for mid-tier. And he gets a Mastery Badge, Radley Walters, Pascucci's, High Caliber, Top Gun, slew of medals. But very good job to Pontiac Pat. And that concludes today's video. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, this has been Darren of WoTC Academy.